Question 41 Alecto. This is on interest rate hedging. So the main thing we are going to cover is interest rate hedging. We are going to cover future, we are going to cover options, and also we are going to cover callers. Okay, let's read the requirements first. So requirement A, briefly discuss the main advantage and disadvantage of hedging interest rate risk using an interest rate collar instead of options. Okay, so you have to talk about what? You have to talk about advantage, disadvantage of interest rate collar instead of option. So it's option versus interest rate collar 4 marks. B. Majority of your marks is in part B. Based on the three hedging choices. What are the three hedging choices? Futures, options, and collars. Alecto is considering and assuming that the company does not face any basis risk. Recommending a hedging strategy for 22 million euro loan. Support your recommend. So this much you have to hedge using the three hedging options. Support your recommendation with appropriate comments and relevant calculations in euro. Right? Basically, you have to say which one out of this three you will choose for header hedging. Right? And it's a 22 million loan. Part C. Explain what is mean by basis risk and how it would affect the recommendation made in part B above. So when you come to part C, you don't have to do any adjustments to part B. You don't have to adjust anything in part B to answer C. You just have to say that basis risk, what it will have an impact. What impact it will have on the calculations you have already performed in part B, because it's just for 4 marks. So you don't have to do any calculation here. So what is basis risk and how it will affect recommendation for part B made above. Okay, and by now if you have seen my before videos also on risk management, you see that the part B, this type of question is repeated all the time. Choose the best hedging strategy, and recommend. By now you're very familiar that this is the way risk management questions will come. So now Alecto is a large listed company based in Europe. It is expected to borrow 22 million euros in 4 months' time on 1st of May 2002. So this important line is this. It expects to make a full repayment of the borrowed amount 9 months from now. Very important. 9 months from now. Okay, that means 4 months time, starting from 4 months. And they are going to make that borrowment 9 months from now. That means from 1st of May 2002. Currently, there is some uncertainty in the market with higher than normal rates of inflation, but an expectation that the inflation level may soon come down. This has led some economists to predict a rise in interest rate and others suggesting an unchanged outlook or maybe even a small fall in interest rate over the next 6 months. So what are they saying? They're saying is interest rate could fall, interest rate could go down, or it could remain same. They're predicting. Although Alecto is of the opinion that it is equally likely that the interest could increase or fall by 0.5% in 4 months. So it could increase or fall by 0.4% in 4 months. It wishes to protect itself from interest rate fluctuations by using derivatives. Company can borrow at LIBOR plus 80 basis point and LIBOR is currently 3.3%. So they can borrow at this. LIBOR is 3.3%. Company is considering using interest rate futures, options on interest rate futures or interest rate collars as possible hedging choices. See, interest rate futures and options you will be able to solve. We have been doing questions on this, but problem will come in interest rate collar, because collar is a topic which is not asked regularly. So there's a chance of going wrong. So if you are weak in collars, if you didn't understand collars while you are studying, this is a very good question that you should see this video. Following information and course from an appropriate exchange are provided in euro futures and options. Margin requirements may be ignored. Okay, so the 3-month euro future is given. Contract size is 1 million euro. Okay, and just check it is for 3-month euro future. Future is always for 3 months if it is exchange traded. Contract size is this. You need it Why? Number of contracts you have to find. Tick size 0.01% and tick value is 25. Okay, March, June, September, you have to select one. Option on the 3-month future. Option will also be on the 3-month future also. Contract will be same. You see, for option and future, the contract will always be the same. So there is no difference in that. Tick value again same. Option premium sign annual percentage. So first we have to decide whether call and put, and then we have to decide March, June, or September. Now, it can be assumed that settlement, okay, this you know that this has been repeated in many, it always repeated, right? It can be assumed that futures and option is at will end is at the end of the month, and then it can be assumed that basis diminishes to zero at contract maturity at a constant rate, and the time intervals can be counted in months. So now first we have to talk about advantage and disadvantage of caller compared to option. This we can give from our this thing also. We don't need anything from the case study. I have the marking scheme also, which I'm going to show you at the end of this video. So part A. What are some advantages and disadvantages of caller? We'll learn from here. Okay, so interest rate caller involves purchase of a put option and the simultaneous selling of a call option at different exercises price. Now, my question is, we talked about caller. Okay, what is caller? Caller means you are buying one option and you're selling another option. That is what caller is. You are doing two things simultaneously, right? You are just not buying one option or selling one option. Okay, right? Like other. Okay, like we have floors and ceiling on options. No, in caller we are doing two things at the same time simultaneously. We are buying one option and also we are selling another option. But what is that option? Put or call. Put or call. We are buying put. We are buying call. We are selling put or we are selling call. That you have to decide. How will you decide in the caller? It is very simple. Just go here and check. Okay. First, you have to always, whenever this interest rate question hedging comes, okay, I will write it here so that you can take a note of it. Whenever rate interest rate hedging question comes, this is only for interest rate hedging I'm talking about. Okay, so don't get confused with your exchange rate hedging. So interest rate borrowing or lending, you have to decide on this first. Whenever interest rate question comes, decide the company is borrowing or lending. Here the company is taking a loan, they are borrowing. So what happens when they are borrowing? It is fixed. Okay, it is fixed. This rule is fixed from the textbook. If you go, you will see when it's borrowing, you buy. You buy put and sell call. And what is for lending? The opposite of it. The opposite of it. So, and most of the time we have been seen from the with callers with borrowing. We haven't seen a question where callers are with lending. Okay, so till now I haven't seen a question. But it is the opposite of borrowing. So buy put and sell call. This you have to memorize it. That's why they are saying purchase put option and the simultaneous selling of call option at different exercise prices. This is another important thing. It is not at the same exercise price. Never. Call a different exercise price. Okay. We'll see how to select the exercise price for put option and the call option. Okay. There is a fixed rule for that also, but when we do the calculation of callers, that time I will tell you. That time you'll be able to understand it better. So the main advantage is that it is cheaper than just purchasing the put option, right? If you just purchase the put option without selling the call option, like in caller, what happens is an option it becomes more expensive. But in caller, it is cheaper because you're also selling a call option. That means you're also getting a premium so that your premium is reduced by buying and selling in the callers, but not in option. So this is because the premium received from selling the call option reduce the higher premium payable for put option. Next, main disadvantage. Okay, so here you are talking about advantage. In one paragraph, here you are talking about disadvantage. See the outline, the way they are answering, how they are writing us a point, how they are dividing it between different paragraphs, How do you know how to divide it and write it in different paragraphs? So this techniques you need to learn. Okay, and the main disadvantage is that benefit from any upside movement in interest rates is capped by the sale of a call option. With just put option, full upside benefit would be realized. What happens is when you're taking an option, if interest rate goes up, that full benefit you can take, but not with call. It is capped when you're selling a call option at that exercise where it is capped at that. Okay, and we'll see what are the marks now. It is the advantage 2 marks, disadvantage 2 marks. Okay, always see our marks and then write points. Most of you might be writing 3 4 advantage and disadvantage, which is not required in this because it is just for 4 marks. So make sure that the points you are seeing is in matching with the marks. Now coming to part B, we have to hedge this 22 million. So first starting with future. Okay, what is Alecto worried about? Rise or fall in interest rate? This is a borrowing. If it's a borrowing, you will always be worried about rise in interest rate if interest rate increases. So as Alecto is looking to protect against a rise in interest rate, it needs to sell future. This line has to be there. This line has to be there. You have to tell that why Alecto is selling future, because they are worried about rise in interest rate. You are getting marks for this. I will show you the marking scheme and you'll be very shocked. It is just not your numbers that you are getting marks for. Writing this point will give you 1 or 2 marks. Because let me tell you, calculation of future is 4 marks. Out of the 17 marks, 4 marks is just for calculation of future. And it is not all in the numbers. Sentences which you are writing. You have to always state sell future or buy future. Long or short. Right? Sell future. Whenever it's a borrowing, sell future. Because it's borrowing. Borrowing, it is sell future only. And if it's lending, you buy future. It's a rule. This rules you have to memorize. There is no other way. When it's a borrowing, what you have to do. When it's a lending, what you have to do. Okay. Because why I'm repeating this over and over again is the reason is people are very good in exchange rate risk management, but not with interest rate. Even though interest rate is the easier one. Why? Because here we don't have that conversion of currency. We are not dealing with 2 3 currencies. Just one currency. Everything is in same term. So interest rate practically is easier than exchange rate risk, but still students perform better in exchange rate compared to interest rate risk. That's why I'm emphasizing this point more and more. Okay. As the borrowing is required on 1st May, they have told the date. June contracts are needed. 1st May, June contracts are needed. Because the next which comes, right? It is June. It is June. Let's see how many were there. We'll see. There were 3. March, June, September. March you cannot take also because 1st of May. September will be too late. June is the right option. June is the next one, the nearest one. So we are going to go for the June. This also, by the way, you need to write. 1 mark is for this, another mark is for this. What contract you are taking. First one, sell future. Second one, June contract. Third one, number of contracts. And fourth is your all the other calculations. Okay. So number of contracts. 22 million we have to hedge. Divide by 1 million number contract size into 5 over 3. What is this 5 over 3? What is this 5 over 3? 3 is okay. 3 we know because it is the size of the duration of the future contract is for 3 months, so your denominator will always be 3 months, that we know. But what is this 5? Will go up. Okay, here they told that borrow 20 million in 4 months time on 1st of May. So starting on 4. Okay, and what did they tell? Full repayment of borrowed amount 9 months from now. 9 months from now. So how many months? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 months. From here to here, it is 5 months. This is how you have to get it. 9 minus 4. From now means you have to make a repayment. 9 months from now means it will be the ninth month only. But after 5 months from that fourth, right? So that's why it is 5. And then you are getting 36.67, 37 contracts. Okay. You're rounding it to 37 contracts. Why is it that you are taking 37 contracts here? No, and why not 36? Because I have told that you have to use round down. Because in exchange rate, you can hedge using forward if it is under hedged, but not in interest rate. Where will you hedge in interest rate? So it is better to take the round up figure 37. Now let's go to the basis. See, basis and future goes together. You have to know what is basis risk. You have to calculate the closing future price. It is a must. Whether it is in exchange rate, whether it is in interest rate, this is a must skill that you should know. Without this, don't even think of going to your exam hall. Don't, you cannot, because based on this, all your calculation depends. Your future depends. Closing price of future depends. Based on that, your gain or loss on future will depend. Based on that, your net income in future will depend. Based on that, your option also will change. Everything follows on. So there, if you make mistake, everywhere you will make mistake, and it will make you pay the penalty. You have to pay a penalty for that, right? You will be failing the paper. And I'm sure that no one wants to fail it by this silly, stupid mistakes. So don't. Now, current price minus future price is basis. What is current price? It is 1st of Jan, they are saying. 4 months from now. 4 months from now means 1st of Jan is now. 4 months from it was 1st of May. January, February, March, April. Right? So that's why current price is from 1st of Jan minus your future price. The way you understand the sentence is also very important. What did they tell here? Again, I'm taking you to the first paragraph. Because most of you make the mistake here, because they told, read the first line, borrow 22 million in 4 months time on 1st of May 2002. So most of you might think that 1st of May is your starting point. No, they are saying after 4 months it is 1st of May. So it's starting from 1st of Jan. Today is 1st of Jan. And then 4 months 1st of May. Then that's why they told 9 months from now. 9 months from now means when? From Jan 9 months. That means it will be January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Right? So that's why it is 1st of Jan minus future price is equals to your basis. Current price, that is your spot price, minus future is your basis only. This you should know. So what is your current? See, future price is given to you 96.16. Yes, it is 96.16 for June. Where is it? Yes, this is given to you. Current price, what is your current price? 100 minus 3.3. Right? Every time it will be minus by 100 only. When you want to find the price, future price, right? You are given, and let's say you are given interest rate. So 100 minus that interest rate is only your future price or your spot price. That's why to find your spot price is given, maybe it is given as a percentage. Current LIBOR. So the current LIBOR is your spot price, right? LIBOR is currently 3.3%. If they have given you in terms of number, let's say 96, 96.00, 96.7, there you don't have to minus anything. As it is, you can take the number and minus your future. But what happens is they never give you like this. Your spot will always be given as a percentage. That is your LIBOR only. Will always be given as a percentage only. 3%, 2%. In this case, LIBOR is 3.3%. That's why when you want to find the price of the spot, the current price, it will be 100 minus that percentage, 100 minus 3.3%, and minus your future, opening future, you will get your basis. In this case, your basis is 0.54. Now, unexpired basis, it is not enough. Unexpired basis, okay, on that's 0.2, 0.54, you are taking 2 over 6. 2 over 6. What is this 2 over 6? Hmm? What is this 2 over 6? Think, how are you getting 2 months? These are the months only. 2 months out of 6 is unexpired basis. Okay, so for that, make a time, make like a tagline here. Now, it is 1st of Jan. It is now. Okay, 1st of Jan is now. Then, borrowing. 1st of May. Okay, May, June, July, August, September. 1st of October. Okay, and you are taking a future when? June. You are taking June, right? So you have to calculate, count, right? From May to October. May, no, you have to calculate here like this. From now till the option, till the future, I'm sorry. From here to here, 1st of Jan to June, right? June means it will be 30th of June. 30th of June, because it expires at the end of the month, right? Future expires at the end of the month. So 1st of Jan to 30th June, it is 6 months. Out of that 6 months, 1st of May and June, 30th June. May, June, 2 months. It is unexpired. So that's why it is 2 over 6 into 0.54, which is 0.18. Now, they have told that, see your current LIBOR, okay? It is 3.3%. Forget about what is borrowing, plus or minus basis point and all. Just focus on your LIBOR, because whenever your interest rate hedging comes, interest or decrease, you only have to see your LIBOR and increase that LIBOR and decrease that LIBOR only. Okay. Now they haven't told increase or decrease. They told increase or decrease. They didn't specifically tell it will increase only or it will decrease only. In that case, you have to do both. You have to show the effect of both increase to decrease. It is better to show together. Divide it in 2 columns like this, and it's better to show it simultaneously. What happens when it's increase, what happens it decrease. It's easier, it's faster, and it's time saving. And you will also understand the impact when you write your answer. Right? What happens when you write will increase and then again you have to rewrite for your decreases? Don't do that side by side. Work for decrease also. It's just your numbers are changing, right? The method, once you understand, you can apply for it also. So it will be here increase to 3.8, decrease to 2.8, because 3.3 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 and 3.3 minus 0.5 for decrease. Now, what is the cost of borrowing? Borrowing, they have told it will be LIBOR plus 80 basis point. That's why After they have increased or decreased by 0.5, they are adding 0.8%, which is your basis point. So this, because cost of borrowing is LIBOR plus basis point into, okay, it is not into 421667. This is your answer. This is your answer. That's why this marking scheme, when you read your answers, when you read, you would tend to get confused. They are not in order. They are not in that line. This is the printing mistake or something with printing and all, right? It is into 5 over 12 into 22 million, right? 5 over 12 into 22. Why 5 over 12? You have to take it for the year, by the way. It will be 5 over 12 because for 5 months, from 4 to 9. You are repaying in the 9 month and then taking the borrowing in the 4 month. So from 9 to 4, only for 5 months. So 5 over 12. It will be over 12 only for the whole year you are taking. Okay. So this is 5 over 12 into 22 million because that is the amount you have to hedge. And this is your cost of borrowing when it increases. When it decreases, everything is same, just this is 2.8. And you see that you will be having a lower cost of borrowing. Now let's go to your expected future price. What is your expected future price? They have shown here how they have got. It will be different. Okay, when it increases. Now your LIBOR is 3.8%. That's why from 100 you are minusing 3.8% and minus 0.18. This is your basis. Your basis has to be deducted. Here also it is same, but this is 2.8. So you are having 96.02, 97.02. Why are you having lower here and higher there? Because when your interest rate increases, you will have a lower price. When your interest rate decreases, you will have a higher price. Okay. Now you can find the gain or loss on the future market. What is the gain or loss on the future market? It is what? Right? There is some printing mistake here, if you clearly see. Because here they told 9,600 and 16 minus 9,602. It is not 9,600. Okay, it is 96.16. Your opening future price minus your closing future price. Multiply by this. You multiply by what? Here, 25 into 37 because number of contract is 37 and into 25. Why 25? Because your tick value, right? Tick value is 25 euro. So your tick value into your number of contract, right? And why this is a loss? We are buying or selling future in the opening price. We are selling future. That means we are buying future in the closing future price. So we are selling. If you see, we are selling at. We are selling at. We are selling at what? 96.16, but we are buying at 96.02. It's a profit, right? The reason why they have showed in bracket is, okay, I will tell you why it is in bracket. Even though it's a profit, why it is in bracket? Profit will be deducted from cost of borrowing. It is deducted from your cost of borrowing. This is a profit. It is not a loss because it is in bracket. So don't think it's a loss. It's a profit. Profit will be deducted from your cost of borrowing from here. Why it is deducted? Because of your profit, your cost of borrowing will go down. That's the reason why uh, that's the reason why it is in bracket. You are reducing profit from your borrowing, and it reduces your net cost to this much, right? And effective interest rate, if you have to find the effective interest rate, right? You can keep it as net cost. You can write it as effective interest rate also. But if the question asks to find effective interest rate, you have to know how it is. So I'm showing you how to find effective interest rate. The net cost which you got, divide that by the whole amount that you have to hedge, which is 22 million euros, right? Here you don't have to worry about currency. This is not currency, so nothing to convert. Directly divide by 22 into, it was for 5 months, right? Over 12. This time we do the reciprocal. It will be 12 over 5. Every time whenever you have to find the effective interest rate, do the reciprocal, right? It was 5 over 12. It was for 5 months. It will be 12 over 5. That's it. And you are getting 4.46. And here it is the same thing. But here you are getting a loss. Here you are getting a loss. That's why loss you are adding, because your loss will increase your borrowing. Loss and that borrowing, cost of borrowing. That's why you are not putting a bracket. It's a loss. So you are adding it with the borrowing and your borrowing will increase 409550. And effective interest rate you should know how to find. So it is very similar. Now let's go. And one thing, this interest rate and this interest rate, okay, should be same, by the way. Here it is different. They are saying the difference in interest rate comes from rounding of the contract. Okay, it comes from rounding of the contract. Now let's go to options. So now we are going into options. Okay. Option, as electors looking to protect against rise in interest rate, needs to buy Jan. Here also it will be June only. Okay, buy June put options. Put options. Put option. Put is the word. Borrowing. I'm writing the word also. Please make the note of it. If it's borrowing, whenever it's a borrowing, buy put option. And when it's a lending, call option. It is a rule. Fixed. And don't, you know that when you go to option, you have to calculate number of contract. Here also option also futures also both needs number of contracts. If you're smart enough, you will know that you have already calculated the number of contract in future. That number itself you can use for option also. You don't have to calculate again. This is called time management, and this shows your smartness also. Most of you will not do that. The moment you see option, you start again calculating number of contract, and you will be getting same number of contract only. Why? Contract size is same, 1 million, and it is for 3 month options. Everything else is same. So why are you working again and wasting time? Don't do this mistake, right? As before, 37 contracts are needed. It will be same only. Option and future will give you same contract only. I've never seen a question where they will never increase your difficulty level to that much where it will be giving you different contract size, because the contract size is always the same for futures and options. I have never come across a question where your futures and option contract size is different. So if it is same, your contract will also be same number. So it is 37. From your future, you can use it here. This saves time. Now same. Here also interest rate increased to 3.8%, decreased to 2.8%. We'll see. Okay. Put a column. Here they haven't put a column because it's okay. But in your exam, put a column and try to show both together simultaneously. Okay. Now interest rate. You are taking both 4% and 3.5%. That is your exercise price. And this is put option. Okay. First we'll go to option and check. We haven't gone through the option at all. Okay. So it is put, right? And here they haven't mentioned anything about the interest rate. How are they saying the interest rate? Look at your striking price. This will tell you it is 96. Can you use 96? 96 is the price, not the interest rate. Interest rate, if you have to find out, 100 minus 96. Here it will be 100 minus 96.5. So in the first one, 100 minus 96, it is 4%. Second exercise price, 100 minus 96.5, 3.5%. That's why they are showing here 4 and 3.5%. 4 and 3.5%. That is your exercise price, because they're working in what? Interest rate. Percentages, not figure. Right? Keep it in interest rate only. It's easier for you to work out. When you're having 96, you might be asking me why not we are working like in future as 96 or 96.7. Right? because it's easier to work in interest rate. You will not get confused. You will not get confused. When you are working with the price, exercise price, as it is 96 and 96.5, you will get confused. But with interest rate, if you are working, right, you have to take a decision, right, whether you have to exercise the option or not. That time you will not get confused when you're using percentage. I will show you how. So 4 and 3 point, what is the June future price? It is 3.98% and 2.98%, right? June future price 3.98%. How is it 3.98%? Hmm? Look at this closing future price, your closing future price. What is your closing future price? It is 96.02, right? So that minus 100 minus your, see, if you know how to find price, you should also know how to find interest. If interest rate is given, you should know how to find the price. It's just 100 minus that figure. That's it, right? So 100 minus 96.02 is 3.98%. Everything you have to keep it as percentage. So now tell me here, first one, when exercise price is 4% and future June future is 3.98%, will you exercise the option or not? Will you exercise the option or not? They will not exercise the option. They will not exercise the option. Why? What do they want to do? They want to protect against rising interest rate, which is having the lower interest rate. June future price, right? 3.98%. But your exercise price is having the higher interest rate. Why do they want to go for the higher interest rate? They want to protect themselves. So they will not exercise the option because your exercise price is higher. Now come to the other one. Next one, will they exercise or not? In this case, they will exercise because your June future is more than your exercise price. Your exercise price is less. They want to protect themselves against rise in interest rate. Therefore, they will exercise the option. And they will also have a gain also. Difference between 3.98 minus 3.5, 0.48%. Now, you have to find the net cost. This is important. You have to do all this important step. What was the actual interest cost? 4.6, 4.6. Right? How 4.6? Because it is 3.8 plus 0.8. Right? 3.8, which is your now current LIBOR plus 0. You have to add your basis point. That is your cost of borrowing. That's why your actual interest rate is 4.6 for both. Value of an option gain. That gain you have to what? Add. You have to add because this is already minus actual interest cost. It's a negative. So when you put in the calculator, it will be minus 4.6 plus 0.48. Right? You are basically deducting that, right? If I say in sentence, you are deducting that gain from the cost of borrowing. But if I say you are deducting, you will go and put in your calculator minus 4.6 minus 0.48. Then you will get a wrong answer. That's why I'm saying it will be put your cost, whatever your cost in bracket, and then add your gain. It's easier to work that way. So that gain 0.48 you are adding, basically deducting, but in your calculator you will put minus 4.6 plus 0.48 minus your premium. Your premium you have to calculate, right? What is the premium? It is put. So it is here. This two. Right? 0.163 and 0.581. They have rounded up. So they are putting as 0.16. They are not putting, it was how much? 0.163, but they are putting 0.16 and 0.58. Okay. You can put the whole number also. 0.581 also. So your premium, of course, it will be deducted. Right? In your calculator, when you put minus 4.6 plus 0.48 minus 0.58, because premium will be deducted. And then you have to get this number. Okay, net cost. Since it's a cost, it will be in bracket. Net cost of a loan. Same for the other side also. But here, go here. It is 2.98. Okay, June future price. Your 100 minus closing future price, you will get 2.98. In first instance, will you exercise option? No, because your option exercise is greater. Exercise option. Sorry, exercise price. In the second case also, your exercise price is greater. So in short, when your exercise price is greater, you will not exercise, because this is a borrowing. You want to protect yourself against rise in interest rate. Okay. So likewise, you should be able to calculate the net cost of loan also. I'm not going to repeat all those things. Now, in each case, the cost in euros can be calculated as interest rate into 5 over 12 into size of loan. Example, what was the interest rate? 4.76%. That means 0.0476 into 5 over 12. Right? 5 over 12 is what? 5. It is for 5 months and 22 million. So this will be, if you want to calculate in terms of money, in terms of euro, you should know. In terms of cost also, like percentage, interest rate, you should be able to calculate both ways. Now coming to the collar, which is very important. When it's collar, I told you it's borrowing, and borrowing you buy put and you sell call. So you're buying put June, okay, June put. You are buying June put and you are selling June call. It will be June and June only. That is the same. But put at different exercise price, call at different exercise price. Now you tell me, how do you decide that you have to buy at 96 only and sell at 96.5 only? When you're taking collar, okay, when you're taking collar, this will be 4% and this will be 3.5%. When you're taking a collar, try to put it as a price, exercise price. Don't use the percentage. Don't use the interest rate, 4% and 3.5%. It will be harder for you then. Put it as like this, 96 and 96.5, the exercise price as it is. Why I'm telling you that is because you buy put at low price, you sell call at high price. 96 is less than 96.5. You are buying at 96 and you are selling at 96.5. Okay, in short, you are buying at low price, you are selling at a higher price. Okay, so you are buying at 96. Okay, and this is your exercise premium, by the way, your premium. And when you sell the June call, this is your premium. We'll check. Okay, what is that premium? How much? The table, you're selling June call at 96.5. So this one, this is your premium and this one is your premium. Okay, exercise price has to be different. Don't go and do it in the same exercise price. Okay, net premium payable. Now what is the net premium payable? Your premium payable is more or the premium you're receiving is more? This is more, 0.16. So basically it is this. This is the premium you have to pay since you are buying, and you are selling means this is the premium you are going to receive. So your net premium payable will be the difference, which is 0.073. This is the net premium payable. You see, because of that collar, your premium is reduced. Otherwise, you just have to pay the whole premium of 0.163. But now you're selling call, that's why you're reducing it. Okay, 37 contracts as before. Don't go and calculate contracts again. It will be same. Now, what happens if interest rate increase? What happens if it decreases? Same percentage only. Now you're buying put and you're selling call. You're buying put at 4% and selling call at 3.5%. Does it look confusing now? Because I told you buy at less and you sell at high. But here, if I see, you're buying at 4%, which is higher than 3.5%. Are you getting confused? It's easier to get confused. That's why I told you use number, exercise price. Don't use the as a percentage, 4% and 3.5%. Okay. So June future price, it will be same only June. We have already calculated it when we were doing option. 3.98, 3.98. First case, will you exercise the option? You will not exercise the option because the exercise price is higher. Second, will you exercise the option? Here also you will not exercise the option because see the word sell. Most of you will tell yes, you will exercise the price because exercise price is less. No, this is sell, my dear friends. This is buy. Buy you want to see for lower. Sell you want to see for the higher price. So higher interest rate is 3.98%. Exercise price is less. Why will you exercise? You will not exercise. No, no. Clearly write it. No, no. Even if you're not exercising option, net cost of the loan you have to find. This is you have to do it. So what is actual interest cost? Here 3.8 plus 0.8 only. That's it. And no value from the option because you are not exercising. Premium, right? Here it was 0.073. So they have rounded up to two decimal place 0.07. You can write as the full number 0.073. And since it is the cost and the premium, both will be added together and your net cost of loan will be higher. Even though in this looks like bracket here, in the calculator you will be adding both, right? So it is minus 4.6 minus 0.07, right? Don't go and put minus 4.6 plus 0.07 just because I told premium will be added. Now comes to decrease. Decrease exercise price same. June future price, take what happens when interest rate decreases, it will be 2.9. Exercise, you will not exercise because your exercise price is higher. Here, yes, you will exercise because your sell price is higher. Exercise price is higher. You want to sell at a higher, no? You will see for the higher percentage for selling. So yes, you will exercise. So under the first one, you don't have to. Okay. Now what happens? What is the actual interest cost? It will be 3.6, right? 2.8 plus 0.8. Value of option loss. Oh, here comes the difficulty. It's not difficult actually. Why it is loss? Why it is loss? See the percentage. See the percentage. I told you you're buying at a lower price and sell. That I told you. The reason I told you 96. Okay, I will write here 96 and 96.1. The reason I told you to look at exercise price is for you to decide an exercise price. At what exercise price to buy and sell. But when you have to go for the loss, you have to see the percentage 4% and 3.5%. Actually, you are buying at a higher percentage and selling at a lower percentage 3.5%. So, are you making a loss or not? You are making a loss. You are making a loss over there. What is that loss? Right? So, there's a value of an option loss. That loss is just the difference between exercise price and June future. 3.5 minus 2.98. It is 0.52. And premium, same as before. Add all because loss, premium, interest cost, all will add your net cost of loan. So it will be 4.19. Because it is shown in bracket, not because it is deducted, but all are cost. But you have to add all in your calculator. Right? But make sure that you use the calculator. If you, in case, for simplicity in your calculator, don't put any bracket. Put everything as positive and keep adding. You will get 4.19. It's like 3.6 plus 0.52 plus 0.07. But if you want to put bracket, let's say you are putting minus 3.6, then you have to deduct minus 3.6 minus 0.52 minus 0.07. Then only you will get 4.19 in bracket. Otherwise, you will not get that answer. So you should be smart enough to use your calculator also. The trick is here. That's why most of you don't get the numbers which is there in your revision kit or marking scheme. Now in euro it is the same way only when you want to find in euro. Interest rate into 5/12 into size of loan. So euro, what is the interest rate? 4.19% into 5 for 5 months and 22 million. Now if interest rate future, now we'll compare. Now we'll see which is having the lowest borrowing, because this is a borrowing, we want to go for the lowest borrowing. So this is 384,083 for caller. Oh my god, option is having 436, that's more. And future is having 408 and 409. So it seems like that option is the one which is giving the highest and caller is the best, and future is in between. Okay, so if interest rate future market is used, interest will be fixed at 4.47%. But if option on futures or interest call is used, then cost will change. If interest rates were to fall, then option hedge gives the more favorable rates. If it fall, okay, option will give more favorable rates. Option, we'll see what happens when it falls. Okay, so we didn't calculate this thing, but it is okay, 3.76%, which is very less cost. So that means your overall cost also will be less. Okay. However, if interest rate rises, then future hedge gives the lowest interest cost, and the option hedge has the highest cost. We saw that option has the highest cost. Okay, that you can go by yourself and check which is having the highest and the lowest. If Alecto wants to fix his interest rate irrespective of the circumstances, then future hedge should be selected. Future hedge should be selected. Okay, because it is giving the lowest interest cost if interest rate increases. If interest rate rises, that's what you're more concerned about as a borrowing, right? If interest rate rises, it is better go for the future. But just because you told future, don't forget in your conclusion you have to give the disadvantage also. This recommendation does not include margin payments or other transaction cost, of which should be considered in full before a final decision is made. Copy paste this line. Exactly copy paste this line. I'm telling you to memorize this line, in fact. Right? Which should be considered in full before final decision is made. Now going to parts. Part C is a very small. You have to tell what is basis risk and how it can have an impact. As you see, part C has no calculations. Before going to part C, I will take you to the marking scheme of part B. Right? So, put option to go a recommendation to go short a future. So, short for future purchase put option. If option used, 1 mark you are getting for that. Remember, 1 mark just for stating that selling future and buying put option. Number of contracts and remaining basis 2 points, 2 marks. Future contract 4 marks, option contract 4 marks, caller 4 marks. Supporting comments and discussion itself is 2 to 3 marks. How do you support comments and make conclusion? Now coming to part C. Explanation of basis is 2 to 3, that means 2 marks. Effect of basis risk on recommendation 2 marks. So we'll go to part C. Okay. Basis risk arise from the fact that the price of the future contract may not move as expected in relation to the value of the instrument being hedged. Okay, this is from the textbook only. So basis change do occur and thus represent potential profit or loss to investors. Basis risk is the difference between spot and future price, and so there's no basis risk when the future contract is held until maturity. In this case, until maturity means if you are borrowing in June and if you are taking a June future itself, that means there will be no basis risk because there is no unexpired basis, right? But here it was on May and we are taking a June future. That's why that 1 month, that 2 months, 2 month unexpired basis was there. In this case, however, the June contracts are closed 2 months before expiry, and there is no guarantee that the price of the future contract will be same as the predicted price calculated by basis at that date. Right? You cannot guarantee. There cannot be no guarantee. It is assumed that unexpired basis above is 0.18. Try to bring some numbers also if you have calculated. When you have right, it is assumed. Use these words. Don't say it is. You are very sure 100% it is 0.18. No, but I have calculated above. Don't say like that. Say it is assumed that unexpired basis above refer from where above is 0.18, but this but is very important. Don't underestimate the statement of but. It could either move more or less. Okay, so write these words. These are the ways you have to write. You are not sure whether it will go up or down, so write it could either move more or less. Now the last paragraph. This creates a problem in the future contract, which in theory gives a fixed interest cost may vary. So because of this basis risk, now they are showing you the impact. right? In theory, it is easy, fixed interest cost, but it may vary. It may vary. Is in theory, you can say future is giving you a fixed interest cost, which is I think 4.47%, but it varies because of the basis, and therefore the amount of interest is not fixed or predictable. Typically, this risk is much smaller than the risk of remaining unhedged, and therefore the impact of this risk is smaller and preferable to not hedging at all. Write this line. Most of the points like this you can even copy paste also. So that's it for this question, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have liked this video, put thumbs up and share this content with your friends. Thank you and take care.